Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So today we're going to do something that we've gotten a lot of requests on, and we're pretty excited about it. So today we're actually going to do a dip on a full set of, not motorcycle, but four-wheeler plastics. So we've already got all of these all prepped out, all ready to go, and so a couple of things to kind of look at. Now these plastics, as you can tell, they are very big. They're very wide, and so it's going to take a little bit of ingenuity and a little bit of seaming together to get everything to come out the exact way that we need to. And so what we're going to do here is I'll kind of show you this, that going from this right here, it is not wide enough this way because we still need extra film out here and extra film out there. And then of course going this way, it's of course definitely not big enough because we still need these edges down here and down here. And so what we're going to have to do here is we're actually going to have to seam it together. And so the game plan is what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to run a seam right down the middle of this right here. And so then that way we have plenty of room to dip one side of the fender, one side of the fender, and then the same thing on the other side over here we're going to have to do with a seam to where we have a seam right down the middle here, and then of course we dip one fender and then we dip another fender. And so we'll come back in. Of course a lot of this probably won't get dipped because it's going to trap tons of air, and that's not a problem because it is under the seat. So what we're going to come back and do is we're going to come back in with a like color, maybe like a darker brown or a black or something like that, and just pretty much shade in all of this area right here. That way it looks a lot more uniform, looks a lot more like the manufacturer would have done whenever they were doing these already. And so we're also excited too because the film that we're using is actually the Realtree Max 5, and so this is going to look really good on these plastics. We've already got the recommended base color put down on the plastics, so we've got them painted, we got them ready, and so now all we need to do is pretty much we'll create our seam line, we'll get everything prepped out, we'll get the film laid out, get it laid on the water, and start dipping the first set. So let's get started. All right, so we got everything all taped up. So of course, as we're gonna be dipping this one side over here, then we wanna make sure that we don't get any of the dip on this back side over here. And so that's kind of why we've got our line going right down here. And then we also added a little bit of extra piece right through here just to kind of protect this fender as it slides down. So of course the dipping, we're going to have to make sure that we dip it at an angle and we try to trap the least amount of air as possible. And so I'll kind of show you guys whenever we're dipping that, but this should get us ready to go and where we can lay our film out and go ahead and get it on the water, so that way we can go ahead and dip it. So let's get started. Top and bottom. All right, so we're gonna do the same way that we did for this one as we did the other one. We're just gonna lay that on there, and then we're going to get our line straight here. Yeah. All right, so we got everything all finished and these parts came out amazing. They look really good. We did the half and half dip just like what you saw earlier, and as you can tell, we've got our lines coming up through here and everything came out really good. It blended really well, and of course the pattern looks amazing going across the rear of the fenders as well as the front of the fenders as well. Now again, some patterns and some lines, they are going to cover a little bit better than others. This one covered really well, and so even with this line right here, it literally looks like it just blends in super well, and we're really happy with that. Same thing with this one right here. It just looks like a continuation of the pattern, and it doesn't even look like it's been blended in. The other thing is, of course, whenever we started looking at this, we didn't know how well it would actually get down into this area right in here. But with it actually covering almost every bit of this, we pretty much decided that it actually turned out really good. Now again, the seat's gonna be over this, you're not ever really gonna see it. There's a whole bunch of electronics that sits in here, so you don't really see a lot of it, but even with the parts that it did cover up, we felt like it was just fine to just leave it with the camouflage that it had already on it, so we ended up just leaving it like that. And then of course, we shot it with our flat clear and gave it a really good durability, really good look overall and everything, so we're very happy with the way that this turned out. So hopefully this video has really helped you out. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. We'd love to hear from you on anything Hydrographics related. Also, let me know how you think that everything turned out with this. Do you think that you would have done it in a different pattern, or what's your thoughts on it? Definitely love to hear from you on that. Also, if you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips and tricks on anything Hydrographics related. I'm Brian from Liquid Concepts, and this is how we customize your world. We'll see you guys next time.